session is AI in the trenches. It's a panel session, and Carlo will be moderating the session. And let's welcome them to the stage, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'll just quickly introduce myself and our panel today. And my name's Carlo. I'm from Channelwiz. If you haven't heard about us, it's not really about me, but we've got a little booth on booth 31. We've got a platform that integrates pretty much to every single marketplace in Australia. So if you've got a product, we can hopefully open the doors for you for every single marketplace, make life easier for you. We do all the heavy lifting, digital uploading, integrating, and all you need to do is send your products and have some good product to sell. But I'll introduce you to the rest of the panel. We have, Anthony Bayliss from Pace Athletic, Daniel David from Kaz Australia, and Lethika, I'm not going to attempt your surname with Lethika, but from Tungsten Automation. I'll get it right by the end. I'll hand it over to you guys. Do you guys want to maybe introduce yourselves individually and what you guys doing?
Yeah, sure. Hi. I'm Business Operations and E-commerce Manager at Kaz Australia. I've been here for 14 years. It's a family business, a legacy brand, almost 50 years in business. When I came in to first start with Kaz, it was all wholesale driven, bricks and mortar, and then as I got in, it was all about digital focus and digital marketing, and then as we've evolved into AI, data efficiency, productivity, and warehouse management has become a lot faster, and I'm really excited about this topic. But yeah, operations management is where my key focus is, and using AI to fast track things is only getting better and faster. So yeah.
Excellent, thank you. Hi everyone, I'm Lethika. I'm SME for supply chain, retail, and manufacturing at Tungsten Automation, formerly known as Kofax. 40-year-old business, really started with optical character recognition, and now we're an end-to-end workflow automation business. Work across and partner with over 25,000 businesses globally. Work with Unilever in Bangkok, Super Retail Group, Chemist Warehouse, and we look to automate processes, whether that's in their customer service, whether that's in their supply chain, like shippings documents, sales order automation, and we bring together transparency and efficiency. Thank you.
I'm Anthony Bayliss. I'm the head of digital at Pace Athletic. We're a specialty running retailer. When I started with Pace, it was a thriving local running retail business, but didn't really have much of an online presence. And yeah, my role's been to scale it and to become probably the premier running retail business in Australia.
Thanks, everyone. So very impressive lineup you guys have here. And thanks to Pace Athletic for sponsoring the run this morning. I'm sure some of you guys attended. Anyone do the ice bath this morning? Well done, well done. Was it good? All right, so we've got a few topics to go through. We've only got 40 minutes, but I'll go through the topics really quickly for you. AI versus reality, operational bottlenecks with AI, where automation is making the biggest impact in your business, real workflow, how AI is being applied day to day, team productivity, freeing up time versus adding complexity to your business, and implementation lessons, what works and what doesn't. So I guess the first part is I'd love for you guys to share the first point, which is AI versus reality and how does it affect your business. And we've got very varied types of businesses here, so I'd love to hear what you guys say.
Yeah, so with Kaz Australia, we're a very creative-led brand and a lifestyle brand. For us, unlike other industries, we aren't quite ready from the visual creative aspect of AI, because what happens is, say for example, we build an email, our lead graphics team and our creative designer and a creative director pick it up straight away. So do consumers as well. Like, so if they see a AI-generated lifestyle shot, they'll pick up the design, the threads. It won't look right. So for us, it's a bit of a challenge. We can get copywriting and obviously all of the body text right on an email and all our paid marketing. But yeah, I think that's the difference that stands out with reality versus AI, is it depends which industry you're in and how you utilize the videography and the graphics on your product and brand. I don't know what you guys have to share, but.
Well, I think reality versus AI, it's, I always say this, AI is like oil. It's useless unless it's refined. So as a business, as Tungsten Automation, we utilize AI within our products to deliver that transparency. So what that could look like is if you've got extreme manual processes where you're clicking through, where there's a human that's manually typing in data, information, extracting it, reimagine that and you partner with a software vendor that can deliver that automation strategy. So the way I would look at it is AI is great, but partner with a business that knows exactly how to unlock that power of AI. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, reality for us, I suppose, is that we're humble enough to realize that we're a bunch of idiots stumbling around in the dark, knowing that this thing has potential for our business, but not exactly sure, right? Like, I think everyone else there's a lot of businesses out there sort of telling people that they, have these amazing tools that can unlock everything, but once you actually get under the hood, it's a very different reality. Every business has different systems, different things that plug into it. It's not as straightforward as one solution that captures everything. So, for us, the reality is an enthusiasm towards it, trying to create a culture that leans into it and that uses it as a tool to help us in what we do, even if we don't understand at the beginning of it, using it and going on a journey with it, what we're going to do with it. It's just having a mindset of curiosity towards it.
Thanks, guys. I'm not going to speak too much because you guys are the pros at AI. I'm not, but I have been in the e-commerce industry since 2008. I was the 5th employee at catch.com.au, or Catch of the Day, we called it back then. And AI's come a long way since then. I remember when I got hired, I used to clean the toilets and do stuff around the warehouse and take photos. I had to upload 1,000 products onto this Catch site that week, and I did everything manually, took photos. I remember they used to yell at me because I was a really bad speller, and so my grammar was terrible. There was nothing to check it. But you would go on catchoftheday.com.au, buy a TV, and television would be spelled incorrectly. So it's come a long way from there. But fast forward 18 years later at Channelwiz, one of the main things I know about AI in our business is each marketplace that we integrated with have separate specs and structures for how they want the product ads to look like. The team have built an amazing business with Cajili as their foundation. They've got 100,000 lines. So to upload those 100,000 lines to every single 26 marketplaces, I think, in total, it's a lot of work, but AI has helped reshape the images, put the grey backgrounds on Iconic because they want grey backgrounds instead of white. Bunnings wants this title. That's really helped the team fine-tune that bottleneck for us, which is the next topic, I guess, for us, is what bottlenecks did your businesses have, and how is AI helping with that?
Yeah, sure. So probably the biggest bottleneck for our business was around using data and using it in warehousing. We had extremely inefficient processes and extremely inefficient use of data to inform decisions in the business. And it's been amazing in certain things, like we've been using AI to help us unlock our replenishment of nutrition products. For if you know running, if you're doing marathons and stuff like that, you need a lot of energy gels to help you train. That's been an amazing unlock. We're able to replenish nutrition, and we now, according to our brand partners, are their largest accounts from being one of their smallest ones. So that's been amazing. On the other side of that, though, there have been processes and systems that we've built to achieve that I guess we've added so much complexity into it and so much uniqueness that we then aren't exactly sure how to solve it, because we used AI to prompt itself to code the whole thing out, and then pretty quickly realized that we couldn't fix it by ourselves, and that we were going to need devs if we wanted to maintain it in its current format. So back to the beginning, simplify it, make sure that we understood it, and I think that's important advice for every business that's trying to get into it, particularly if you're a small, medium business that you don't have a dev teams, is that you need to understand that if you want to do stuff in AI and try and build out systems for yourself, that you need to be able to understand how you got it to the place that you got it, or you're going to need to be prepared for the fact that you're going to need developers to get in there and solve it all.
And that's something we see as a software partner. we see this all the time, right? You have to reimagine and simplify your processes. You can't just lift and shift and hope that AI will do the cleanup, because the processes will just get more and more complicated. So you're going backwards, right? So what we often encourage our partners to do is look at your processes, understand where your manual tasks lie, where your talent is spending most of their time, and then look at how AI or process automation can really then solve that problem. Yeah.
Yeah, and to your point, so Kaz Australia is both a B2B and D2C company, and what I've focused on is actual workflows and what is going to benefit the business in the long run. So we produce thousands of SKUs every single year, and what we needed was basically a way to use AI, and I've created an agent that is able to look at all of the basic meta fields like country of origin, fabrication, because every single marketplace requires different fields. So what I've been able to do is go, each dropship customer requires all these products. I put all of my EANs in there, and it immediately knows exactly where each product is from. Because over time, when you create Claude folders, it will then always recognize the same manufacturer, the same product, and then you can then do the 70% workload, and then a human has to go through the rest just to make sure it's all correct, because these submissions take hours and hours. What used to take hours now takes literally one day's work. So you get more efficiency out of your employees, and that's what we've started to see over the last couple of months with Kaz. So really grateful and how much AI is advancing for us, which is great.
Thanks, guys. We've only got a few topics left. We're growing through this pretty well, actually, but let's hear some real-life implementations, if you can, and how that affects your team as well. If that's all right.
Yeah, absolutely. So real-life implementation, think framework. Every business is unique, but the way you use AI to optimize your processes are quite similar. So draw on businesses that are already adopting, early adopters of AI, and understand what AI works for you. Is it the large language models? Is it agentic AI where the agents do the work for you? So again, from an implementation standpoint, framework it, have processes where you can not do everything all at once, start by one process at a time, and partner with a vendor that can provide that roadmap into eventually all in one platform, but can really take you to that point.
Yeah, and another really good workflow that I've introduced and I thought of was basically a reviews aggregate AI folder. So we supply to thousands of customers, but with marketplaces, they all have their own reviews platform, including our own e-commerce website. So I've got AI to read all of your Temple & Webster's, Freedom, Big W, you name it, Bunnings, and read which products and what customers are saying about our products. And then it's basically given me feedback, so I know for my design team and our managers what is going to sell well in the future for product development. So that's one workflow that really works really well for us that I've seen. The other is product inventory management workflows. So I'm able to export all of our last 12 months of data into Claude, and it's able to tell me which products, what's the sell-through rate, how we should be looking at our warehouse accurately and looking at our products that aren't selling well. So it's like dead stock. So we know, hey, if it's over a certain period, let's clear this, put it on sale, and then we can, get on to the next product line, because there's nothing worse than dead stock sitting there over 180 days. So that's been amazing for us. Those are two of the biggest workflows that I would definitely look at starting with.
Yeah, so I think for us, the main potential that we saw with it once we start to really get a handle on it was making sure that our stores were stocked with the right product at all times, and that our DC was also stocked with the right things so that it could fulfill the majority of our onlines rather than relying on stores to do it. And so I think the first step we realized was not to jump into using AI to solve that out, but to make sure that we flushed out any bad systems that we had existing in the business, and not fall into a sunk cost fallacy where we said, well, we already have this, even if it doesn't work, we'll try and patch it together. We went down the path of saying, like, right, okay, what is going to allow us to achieve that in terms of systems standing on their own before any AI is plugged in, what is going to be the cleanest method of doing that, implemented that, and then look to put in AI solutions that will help us to replenish to stores and do that. And that's still an ongoing process for us, trying to roll it out, trying to work out all the bugs and whatever, but so far it's looking very promising.
Yeah.
And if I could just add on to that as well, we work with Wink Australia, and initially we provided finance automation for them. So that was just, when invoices came into a shared inbox, we would extract the information and then workflow it into whatever processes, right? So originally, without the platform, I think they were around 13% straight through processing rate. Once we were able to implement the solution and through multiple reiterations of using large language models and AI agents, we were allowed to now get them to above 99% straight through processing in their finance process. So it's just really how you build a block of structure around your business. And now we're working with them on sales order optimization and automation. So,
yeah. It's so important with data enrichment to just keep advancing. But the other thing is knowing. I often call AI as a bit of a slot machine. If you keep feeding it with answers, it'll keep giving you answers, and then what happens is you end up brainstorming with the team, and everyone's got a different opinion. If you start to train AI, especially Claude, GBT, whatever you use, with your brand tone of voice, eventually you're going to have a really nice outcome because it knows your brand, and you're not going to be shifting between all the different outcomes that it gives you. So, for example, like I had the other day, I had a whip meeting and I sat with my team, and rather than having 10 different bullet point options for a headline title, it just gave me the top 3 based on a tone of voice, and it narrowed it down, and it saved a lot of time and complexity, because that's the worst thing you want, is everyone going back and forth with their different options. So yeah, write down, realize and figure out what your tone of voice is, your brand mission, and feed it with a bit of a guideline so that everyone can join that team folder and keep enhancing what data it's reading every single day. So that's definitely something I thought I'd add.
All right, cool. We're probably heading to one of our last questions before we go to any questions here. But before we do, I've got one more topic. What hasn't worked? Is there something that you guys have tried to implement that didn't work? I mean, I think you've already actually explained one, so yes, we can pass you if you want. But what about you guys?
Everything that we tried hasn't worked initially. I mean, that's just honestly right. Like the first version of everything that we've tried in it hasn't worked. I think, like a lot of people, the first thing that we thought was that AI is the solution to all of our marketing problems. We'll be able to use AI to produce our video content. We'll be able to use it to produce our copy. We'll be able to use it to produce our ads. And now I'd say that we probably haven't done that for at least 9 months now. Everything's gone back to hiring a videographer, to having a full marketing team on everything. Everything's being done the old-fashioned way. And for the better, the ROI is not as good, but the quality on it is far superior, and ultimately that leads to better conversions and better store traffic, better everything by doing it that way. So yeah, things, like almost everything we try initially doesn't work, but then we do better versions of it. So so that one in marketing was pretty much totally the one that really didn't work. But in other stuff, like you processing large amounts of data and getting insights that you wouldn't otherwise be able to get, things you've got a hunch on. That's what I think it's really good for, and what it really is the best thing for almost all businesses, and where it's going to provide the most benefit is really crunching numbers and trying to work out things where you intuit that there's something there, but you don't know exactly what the underlying data says about it, that there's something there. A practical example of that would be something like, for us, we had running sunglasses, and we had a range of it. We'd stock stuff. Some things would work, some things we didn't. And it's a constantly changing, updating sort of product set. It always changes what colors are being released, what styles are being released in that very narrow one. And I sort of knew there's got to be some common factor there that says what is a success in this particular category and what is not. And as I put in more and more bits of data to it and it would pull out some data, and you'd say, okay, well, this hasn't really told me anything, but there's something there, like there's one little nugget of information, let's dive in on that. And eventually was able to come up with a very clear range and say, okay, instead of stocking 120 different SKUs across all the different stores in different ways, here is a core of 30 that we can say, this is going to work across every store. Let's put that in every store. It's going to be easy for us to reorder. It's going to be easier for us to track the sell-through on it. And then we can say, okay, well, this one's the lowest performing one. Let's sub that out with another one. And that's been amazing. The growth that we've had in that category has been fantastic.
Well, he mentioned reiterations, and that's from a solution vendor perspective, that's what we want to be doing. We want to be continually training the model. We want to continually fine-tuning the results that the businesses we partner with is looking for. And we tend to forget technology is technology. It can be faulty. And AI is AI, right? The more, again, the more AI you use, you don't know how realistic or real the answers are as well. So I think it's important. What hasn't worked and what we've seen hasn't worked is just to run through reiteration and off you go. Again, you need that constant touch point and refresh. And too much data is also a thing. So go on by and archive your data. Only use what you need. That's all. Yeah, I can comment on.
Cool. We're going to be wrapping up soon, but we'd love to take it to the floor. Has anyone got any questions so far before we finish? Yep.
Question for, I don't know if anybody can answer, but I'm trying to build a context library of all the marketing that we've done over the last 3-4 years. So that's every email we've done, performance of that email, every campaign we've done, performance of that, all of that sort of stuff together, along with the brand voice, in order to help me and the team design better ads, better emails, better everything going forward. Has anybody tried anything like that? Do you have any feedback on how I could get that to work?
Yeah, I think to your point, so with depending on which platform you use, so Claude, for example, so if you've used an email platform, you'll export all the data onto, say, for example, Google Sheets, and then you link the API to your Google Drive, and then you create a folder, obviously, a project folder, and name it results or whatever outcome you want. And that's when you run the report, and that's when the agent starts to learn. So to your point, so if you want all your archived historical data, you're going to have to export it and send it somewhere on a server so that Claude can consistently look at your data historically and then keep projecting an outcome. That's what I would say. Yeah, so that's where the first stop. But depending which platform you're going to connect to, because obviously Claude's got thousands of different connectors now. ChatGPT is still the same. It's got a lot of API integrations, but there's quite a few now that are really good. I'd recommend Cursor for a bit of development side, but Claude is probably your first best bet. And you have to pay, unfortunately, a little bit on the professional side plan, but the outcome is just astounding what it can come up with over time. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've done this very similar things where we're trying to better everything and then encouraged our retention lead to do that. I think the answer that I would add to that, like what you're describing, is correct, but you have to know what you're looking for specifically to get out of it. So if you are trying to get better, that's not a thing that it's going to be able to tell you, but you can definitely work out what you want to get better, what it is that you're trying to achieve. If there's just a feeling that you can get better, then who knows? You may be well above benchmark in your category or industry, but if you know that there's something that's off, that's what to look for, what to measure, and give it very clear prompts so that it looks for exactly that. What is the thing that is wrong?
And you make sure that you actually tell and prompt it to say, actually, these are wrong. I want you to move out that outcome and give me a new result that you don't want to see.
And the other thing is that's worthwhile knowing, that to almost contradict what I just said, is that if you tell it that something is wrong, it's going to look for something wrong where something may not be wrong. So you really have to be careful with how you word it so that you're looking exactly for a specific thing, and you give it some benchmark data as well. Whatever you can gather from the web, from your competitors, whatever you can try and bring in to say, this seems better. How can we get there? What am I doing wrong?
Thanks, guys. Is there anyone else? Do you have something?
Hi guys, thanks for being here. That's really helpful. I have a small business and I do all of the marketing fulfillment myself, uploading ads. It's incredibly laborious, and I've seen all this hype around OpenClaw and how you can use agents. I knew I was going to get a look at how you can use agents to do a lot of that heavy lifting for you, that monotonous task. Honestly, I have no idea how to foray into that, and I'm terrified to give an agent access to my personal, customer data, sensitivity and all of that. Someone in my position, how would you advise using automation to do that heavy lifting in a secure way? And do you know at all how to alleviate some of the meta ad demands with automation? And it's okay if you don't.
I would refrain then from connecting any of your data from AI. So what you could do is just a pure export. Tell it what you want. Just basically then say, like, let me download a Excel file, and then you're not actually linking your, say, your Google workstation to AI. That's probably the best thing I can think of in advice, because once you link your AI account to your Google data or OneDrive or wherever you're linking to, it's got access potentially. We don't know. I mean, OpenClaw, I'm not a fan of yet because it's still very new and there's a lot of crate around it. But the safest way, just keep it as an export and leave it from there if you're really concerned. But yeah, that's what I would.
Cool.
Yeah.
Can I ask you what you're specifically wanting it to do? Like, beyond help you with your ads?
So when I create video content, I'll create some 50 different creatives, different hooks, different images. It's very time consuming putting that onto Meta, the upload process. I have seen people utilize AI to do that. Meta, duplicate ad, upload creative. I was just wondering if there's a way of expediting that clunky process with AI.
I think there is. So one of the things that I've been experimenting on is to actually build my own platform within it where I can just do all the management of Meta and Google myself. Now, I've been doing that for myself because I was just like, I want to DIY it. I didn't want to do it, but I'm sure that someone else has thought of something out there to do it all for you, because it sucks. Like, I do all that in our business as well, and sitting there uploading stuff is shit. It sucks to do it. So I'm sure there's plenty of people on the floor here who've got solutions for it. But I do think there is going to be, you'll see it very soon, that there will be solutions that speed it up by a lot.
And there is, Meta are introducing what's called Manus. I don't know if you've seen it. Yeah, so, but Meta are in a beta phase of their own AI integration that will allow you to put in what you want, and that might be a secure thing because you're already on the platform and it knows your data and your information, so that could be something to look out for. Yeah.
We don't have much time. Are there any more questions? Does anyone have another question before we finish? All right. Well, we've got a couple of minutes left. I was going to get the guys to share something a bit of fun. Maybe something off the topic. What do you use AI for that's not maybe business related, that's helped you in your life? I'll start. I was telling the guys I have written a 36-chapter storybook for my children at night. So before they go to bed, instead of me making up a story, I've asked ChatGPT to help me. They've gone to a certain extent to actually create illustrations as well. I've put all my children's pictures in there. They've created animations of them. They've asked me if I want to make a song, a movie, everything. We're up to chapter 36 now, so by the end of the year we'll have a full novel, which is fun. So, and a movie maybe. So, yeah.
The other week I went out and got a whippersnipper, and it wasn't working straight away. So I started taking pictures of it and saying, ChatGPT, please help me fix whatever's wrong with this thing. And I ended up at one point giving it a prompt to talk to me like I was a Labrador or a small child, so that I could actually understand what it was telling me to do on this equipment. And eventually we got there, but it was it was quite embarrassing, really, to how bad I was at trying to fix it. I'm not a handyman.
I asked AI to do my laundry and it didn't, so that it didn't work quite well in that sense. But I use AI to cook. I'm a terrible cook, so all types of meals, meal plans, cooking for the kids, cooking for husband. AI does that for me, so yeah, at least the ingredients from it.
For me, I said, I'm becoming a really lazy person. What can I do to help improve my health and diet? And it just gave me a full 2-week plan, a dinner, lunch, breakfast plan. And it's helped a lot actually. And started to motivate me actually to, run and get to the gym a bit more. And then, dietary requirement changes. So I was really impressed actually. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoyed. And thank you all for your time. Please come and see us or come see us Channelwiz, and you guys will be walking around.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you have any more questions, come see them. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Thanks for
you.
watching.